just a matter of time before this. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Sorry I'm a little bit late. I am live with Gabriel, who is from the Coin Launch Lounge. He is one of the main moderators with Brian. He's with us, just hanging out and chilling today. We got a few other people who might swing through. We'll find out. Got a few devs from a few projects that might swing through, as well as a few other people coming through here. We're going to go over charts here real quick. And I have one news source that I want to talk about because this news source is really dope. Real quick before we go into it, let's go over crypto prices here real quick. Right now, the crypto market cap overall is $927 billion. That's what the billion. It's and then Bitcoin is sitting at 19,400, and it is down within 24 hours 3%. We have Ethereum sitting at 1,300, down 5% for the day. We have BNB sitting at 276, down 2.3% for the day. XRP at 43 cents, down 8% for the day. We have Cardano 88.43, down 4% for the day. Solana sitting at 32.91, and it is down 5% for the day. Dogecoin 6 cents. It is down 3% for the day. We got Polkadot sitting at $6.41, down 4% for the day. We have Matic 74 cents, sitting at 4% down, or 4.8 down for the day. And Shiba Inu sitting at 1108, coming down to the area that we're talking about, that 10-cent mark, coming back down to that 9-cent mark. So it's starting to fall off here. That 2% down for the day. That's in a nutshell. So, my friend Gabriel, did you know? Now, check this out. You might not have. I know it's just, I think this is like literally kind of brand new news. But Stanford University researchers have come up with a prototype for reversible transaction on Ethereum, and basically arguing it could be a solution to reduce the impact of crypto theft. This actually popped up on Sunday, where in Sunday's tweet, this guy, Callie Lee, I'm messing his name up. Oh, forgive me here. We're gonna bring it up right here real quick because I want to talk about this. I want to talk. What happened here? Oh, here it is. Boom! It popped over here. Look at that. It's crazy on me. Come on. Check this out, man. This is a trip. I think it's really true. I just would love to hear your thoughts. On Sunday tweet, Sunday University blockchain researchers Callie Wang shared a rundown of the Ethereum reversible token identity, noting that at this stage, it is not a finished concept, but more of a proposal to provoke discussions and even better solutions for the blockchain community, noting the major hacks we've seen are undeniably thefts with strong evidence. If there was a way to reverse those thefts under such circumstances, our ecosystem would be much safer. Our proposal allows reversals only if approved by the decentralized quorum, of judges.
Quorum, I think.
Quorum. Whatever it is. You know what I do? I do this right here, and it tells me, and then it will. Quorum. You're right. Quorum. A gathering of the minimal numbers. As you tell, I'm the most educated guy. I'm more trying to be entertaining here. The proposal was put together by blockchain researchers from Stanford, including Wang, Dan Boneh, and Qinshan Wang, and it outlines opt-in token Stanford that are subletting or siblings to opt-in token standards that are siblings to the ERC20 and the ERC721, dubbed the ERC20 reversible, and ERC721 reversible. Boom. So he goes into right here. But basically goes on to say that they're going to try to be able to set it up, and if people like this within the Ethereum network, this potentially could go into a lot of the other coins out there and be able to, if let's say XYZ happens and a bunch of money gets stolen, it could actually go through and reversed. And so it's just, I think it's a revolutionary idea. especially if it gets taken, as a good way. My only problem is from a coding standpoint, right? If you put a reversible thing in, can that be stepped in and then have somebody else reverse what you reversed? Can you do it one-sided, right? And can that be messed up where all of a sudden somebody hacks that and then sits there and goes into the code and it takes everybody's, you buy into the system and then all your purchases get reversed from it and goes into somebody else's wallet. So these little things that are very interesting that we're seeing. What are your thoughts on that, my friend?
And that's good and bad, because now it will, you have to think about people that will not make money on launches. They will always vote for reversal, like always, right?
No, I think you nail it, because the reality is this, is that if, so let's say if you have a bunch of dudes who are stealing and they come into a protocol, right? They could potentially go through and, based off of the DAO system and the voting system, right? They could potentially take over. I don't know. I can see your perspective. There's pros and cons in both, right? Like you can
It's
have.
good. It's good against racks, right? Rack pools, but it's bad against like those who just don't know how to trade, basically. So they will want to mitigate their losses. So they will always basically vote for reversal when they don't earn money on it.
I think you're nailing it. Yeah, it's just the reality is like when somebody is trading and they're going through. Yeah, man, I didn't even thought about that. You're right. You are right. So then we would actually almost have to build a decentralized, unreversible trading mechanism. But that would also sit there. Go ahead.
Maybe if it would be only allowed against rug pulls, then it's a good idea. But not against like every launch.
So then how do you sit there and delineate between one, which is a rug pull, obviously, right, where money's been pulled out, but just simply somebody who's trading, and even that if they traded in a, a very unsmart, let's say they over leverage something, right, and they go through, and then they sell it, right, and all of a sudden it goes against them, right?
Oh, I'm not talking about leverages. Leverages are on everyone that are using them. Why leverages should be reversible?
You think that leverage should be reversible or no? Is that
No, absolutely not. Because everyone who is using leverages knows the risks.
yes? Before you even go into it, you actually use the leverage part of the trading part. They straight tell you, right, this is leverage at this point. It is not reversible, right?
You have to go through test that you know the risks before. Like the only thing good about this would be against rug pulls. Like we know that this giant red candles, going down, right? Against this one.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's very interesting. I like that article. I think it's a very interesting article on what we're seeing right now. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel as if we might see, I think we could, if something like that gets established, right, I think that does bring security to grandma though as well, right? So grandma goes in and, all right, so here's the other thing, right? This is the other thing, right? So if somebody taps into your wallet and steals your transactions, right, or steals your currency, right? And then from there, you sit there and you go, oh no, well, right now there's nothing you can do. You're just screwed, right? Like you're literally just screwed.
You're talking about dusting right now.
Yeah, dusting or just simply somebody going. Yeah, like whether it's just
allowance. You agree to allow to send everything out of your wallet.
Exactly. Dusting. Okay. I'm also talking about just simple. Somebody, you give somebody your passwords because you're not realizing what's going on, right? And then they take your money and they steal it, right? And they sell it off. Well, this would be good because you could go there and say, look, somebody took my wallet. They sent it here. This is not my wallet. I want it brought back to me, right, into this wallet. And it's that real simple. And you can see the transaction that actually happens. So I think that's a really cool thing, right? To be able to sit there and say, somebody stole wallet. Somebody stole this money from my wallet, right? I want my money back, right?
Yeah, but the money cannot be invested, in my opinion.
Say that again.
The money that was stolen cannot be invested because people will automatically, send it to another wallet, tell it's not theirs, and use this money to invest. And if they lose this money, as for example leverage, or because it was a bad trade, it will go down. They will say it was stolen. You know what I mean? We would put rules that this money cannot be like invested. It can be like sent out to Binance Hot Wallet or somewhere, like from one wallet to another, not from one wallet to another, and that another is investing this money or something like that.
I understand. I see what you're saying. So basically, it'd be held into like a BUSD account, right, where they put it, versus let's say putting it into some got it. I see that. Yeah.
You basically have to think like a JIT. what they would do,
Here's a question. So, just for our audience, in case they don't know what a JIT is, a JIT is basically somebody who goes through and just jumps into a random project and they're looking for quick gains. They just get in and then they get out. And it may last a day, 2 days, 5 days, 2-3 minutes, right? They just
1 hour.
1 hour, yeah.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. 30 seconds, based if they have an algorithm, right, that does it right. So it's really interesting. So that I could see that happening. That should be really funny. Let's go ahead and go into the charts here real quick. So we've got some really interesting things kind of going on within the markets. Real quick, this is the world economy, or not the world economy, but this is the world's economy chart. So if you take like the top like 1,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 companies in the world, this is what this tracks. Okay, that's the URTH. It is an exchange traded fund that you can buy and sell into, right? It's pretty dope. So we had a huge rally up this morning here, right? But we're actually hitting the 8-period moving average. You can see that we're actually following it here. And if we look at the daily too, we're coming up into some areas. So if we continue into this level, we blow through that 4-period moving average here, we'll probably come up into this other area, which is a gap, which basically symbolizes a bunch of sellers selling off this position. So somewhere in between, we'll probably see a sell-off. The reason why I'm going over this right now, because this also, you could say that this kind of controls all of like the S&P 500. So then we jump to the S&P 500. We see S&P 500 is moving up and it's coming into our areas up in here, like I said. So it's really interesting to sit there and see that, will this 20-period moving average hold, or are we going to come back up into our levels here, right? And so I said on the morning chart, right, that we sent, that I see is really coming up into these levels here. If we do move up, we did have a big buyer wick come in, and then we had it come all the way back up to these levels here. So I do see these coming up into these levels here at the 8-period moving average again. If we do see this come into this level, you want to be paying attention to this area here. This area here between the 38.33 to the 37.94, as well as the 8-period moving average. So these little areas could be turnaround points. Just be mindful of that as the market is moving. We are going to see it. We're going to see it start to move up here. So we don't really have any buyer wicks on the short term as we're looking at things, as we're moving up. So let me jump here real quick. Right, we do see seller wicks coming into this level. We have one buyer wick. We have some stuff here, but we really see more seller wicks coming in, right, as they're pushing the market up. So again, not really any real buyer wicks down this level until we get down to here. I say that because this basically is one slippery slide to turn around and come back down like a big sell-off. So again, we do have some news tomorrow as well as today. So to me, as I'm looking at the market and they're pushing it up, okay, with no real fight, again, we're going to see another flip around. So they're building everybody to push in to drop it down. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they are going to do. But I feel like they're getting ready to push this market down after they push it up. But on that daily chart, this does bring hope to me because we're literally putting in this big wick here. So we'll see what happens with that on the daily chart. But when I go into the top smaller time frames, I don't see a lot of buyers though. A lot of defense against this area here. What are your thoughts on the S&P 500, my friend? Gabriel.
I have no idea, man. Don't look at the chart.
Sorry, it's all good. You're more of a fundamentalist, so I get it. Gabriel, he came in last minute. I said, "What are you doing, my friend? Come hang out." He's like, "All right, cool. I'll swing through." Now, where are you at? Just centrally? You're in Europe, right?
I'm in Poland. Yeah.
Yeah, Poland. So that's where he's at today. Who knows? Tomorrow he might be in Italy, or the next day you even might fly over to Africa to hang out, right? The surf up in
Not really.
So we can see here, guys, we had a big seller wick here. They're pushing the market up. So they're definitely stopping out people, which I find really funny what they're doing. We did come down to these low levels here. For me, when I'm looking at this area, I really do see us just selling off. When you go into the smaller time frames, again, there's not a lot. Like, we don't have any buyer wick at this level here on Bitcoin. So the reality is I do see this coming down here. Now, if we look at the NASDAQ here real quick. 1 second. NASDAQ. Right. The NASDAQ has a bit of a buyer wick here, but not in comparison to the S&P 500, right? So this is pushing up, and we're pushing up into supply area here. So it's going to be really interesting to see if this holds or if they're just going to turn this around. On that 4 hour, if we look at the daily, that daily candle here, we do have a fat wick, but then we also have 2 fat seller wicks coming in. So again, came up, bounced off of our 50 period moving average, and we did see a nice little rally right here. It's a little rally right here. And so, oh snaps, I did not see that. Oh, forgive me. Look, man, that right there, that little zone right there, the little powerful zone right there. Boom. Wow. I should have been paying attention to that. See that? That's my slip right there. But we did bounce out that 8 period moving average. So this did hold. So I'm going to put this in here today. This nice little buyer zone here real quick. We could see support come in later from it. So be mindful of that as well, guys. But again, we have these other areas sitting right here, these other higher time frame. This is a weekly period, 50 period moving average. So sitting at the 11,183 for us. So it's really interesting. But jumping back to Bitcoin here, Bitcoin did come and tap that, and then it rallied pretty hard off of that. So this is, I'll point this out here real quick. We bounced off of our area here, and now we're starting to push that daily here. So to me, I sit there and I look at this, and I'm seeing this come up into our previous supply area, which is the 50 period moving average here. It's going to be really interesting to see as we move forward. Where is that? 40? Yeah, here we go. So this is the 50 period moving average on the 4 hour chart here. So I can see it's coming back up into this level. We do continue to keep moving up, but again, for me, we don't have a buyer wick on this 4 hour switch. So I do see it's coming back down to these levels here. So it's going to be really interesting as we move forward. Let's check out the ETH prices here. ETH prices again look similar. Big fat wick coming in off of the 4, but nothing sitting right here. The daily looks about the same here. Let me go ahead and just move this here. Pretty much did what we said it was going to do. We are above a period moving average, so it is really interesting to sit there and see here that we're above the 8 period. If we continue up, like I said, be ready for another stop area right in this level for Ethereum. We do see it kind of selling off once it comes back in, so we'll see what happens. The next BNB, we're showing more strength here, just simply because it's BNB, and I think they're a better run company in comparison to other. They actually generate income as well as have their own portfolio where they invest into, right? So that's, I think it's just BNB is a stronger system, as we see, or a stronger ecosystem. What are your feelings about the Binance system, Gabriel?
I think the Binance will stay with us. They have too much money pumped into it to allow it to, to be broken, basically.
I think, I feel the same way. I mean, all of crypto would have to fall apart. But even then, I know that they're diversified in other assets outside of crypto, in addition to crypto. So I feel like it's I feel like they are a company that is literally well hedged. CZ is one of those guys. Is like he's playing both, and even if this, let's say all, which I don't think is, because I don't think the Nasdaq would get into something. Right now, the Nasdaq is now starting to offer crypto, and I don't see them offering something that they aren't going to allow to excel. Like they may short it. They may short it quite a bit to really get better price positions, but I don't see it going away. So it's an interesting thing, right? Especially with Binance, because I think Binance is in league. I mean, not to say it, but they probably are in league with a lot of these large institutions, right? Sit there and be like, look, this is what we're running.
Can you show the market cap for Binance?
Yeah, right
for
here. Jump right into it right here, BNB. Market cap. And this is one of the ones I keep talking about, like, which one is going to overtake Bitcoin, right? And their market cap right here is 44 billion in comparison to Ethereum, which is 160, and Bitcoin, which is, and here's the other thing I want to bring up. So this is new technology, extremely new technology. Right now, if we look at the market cap for Apple is $2 trillion. $2 trillion for one stock, right? Facebook is sitting like at $1 trillion. Amazon, I think, is around $2 trillion as well. Facebook, I think Facebook is $2 trillion now as well, right? Like, and the stuff that we have here could be revolutionary and could take over Facebook. And I know this sounds like a long shot. I get it, right? Just one stock is larger than our whole entire market cap, right? Of all crypto in existence, right? But what I feel like is, and this is huge, and I apologize for all the deans, guys. Okay, go ahead.
I had this idea just right now because I started thinking about all these agendas that to break down the electrical systems, right?
Yeah.
In Europe, in everywhere, basically.
All the news, yeah.
The Schwab told you will own nothing and be happy, right?
Yeah.
So they have a clear agenda, great reset.
Yeah,
so
great reset.
I was just thinking, Bitcoin has no use case, use case, basically. Transactions are expensive for your average people to do, and it consumes a lot of energy, a lot of electricity to do, right? So if there are two options, basically. Either one will be that they will shut it down because it consumes too much energy, so it will cost a lot for transactions.
As of right now.
As of right now,
yes,
it will cost way more in the future. We know this because every cost of electricity in like every country right now is rising, right? Besides some African countries. So we know the costs will rise. Now, either they want to like break down the price of the Bitcoin because it will be too expensive to basically
keep it going.
keep it going, buy and sell, or it will be too expensive for poor people. You get me?
Yeah, very
So
much.
basically, they can either like break it down completely or stop Bitcoin from being usable by poor people. Therefore, it could skyrocket in price, but only for those who already have it, and a lot of it.
Well,
Just based on electricity price in the future.
based off the electricity price. So, but the cost of electricity as we speak, right now, is all based off the mining of Bitcoin. But if they go into a proof of stake versus a proof of mine, right? A POS versus a POW, right? If the mechanism within Bitcoin, right, goes through and the DAO within their system, I forget the exact system, but if the consensus of the whole entire group says, hey, or the consensus itself, right, system says, okay, we're gonna create a way to do a proof of stake versus a proof of work, right? That's huge. That's huge. And let's say that the Lightning, go ahead.
That's huge. But do you believe every miner in the world will allow it?
I don't know, right? And that's good point. Good point. If
they
the
have
US,
too much money in it. Too much money.
Too much. No, I agree with you. But in the same sense, if that does happen, I mean, look if we look at Ethereum, people are making billions of dollars off of Ethereum, right? I mean, it's huge. So yeah, and I'll put it like,
did miners like sustain, like made the token? They like I think they didn't like have a choice basically.
yeah,
right?
because
Why they launched the pegged Ethereum right now, right?
Well,
just for them. I saw that they were launching another one for still for the proof of work.
Yeah, their own coin for it.
Yeah, that's why they launched it. I think they had no choice basically, right?
Yeah.
But who is going to change the Bitcoin for proof of stake?
We'll see. I mean, I'm just saying, if let's say government step in and say y'all need to do it. Like if they see, well, we also know that like four out of the 5 top nodes that mine Bitcoin, right? Even though it's outlawed in China, like it's there. Like they have it there. So it's really interesting to sit there and see what's actually going on with Bitcoin in China. If there's going to be a person or an entity that I could sit there and see it outlaw or it, because, and this is why I bring this up, right? This is why I think it's interesting, very interesting. If the U.S., or not the U.S., but if China was to go in and really start to fight hard on the Bitcoin mining, we would see mechanisms pop up other places, right? Because when there is a lack of mining of Bitcoin, the cost of mining Bitcoin drops. It's the way the whole entire thing is set up. As there's more miners, then it costs more money for a transaction or a hash to be completed. Is my understanding of Bitcoin. As we move forward, though, if there was to be a big drop and China was to come down and really like to say you're not going to do this because it's taking too much energy from our actual main base to actually produce and push things out, it'd be interesting to see where the new miners would pop up. And
but
I think
they are already popping up in, I think, near Iran and in some African countries because they have really cheap electricity. They can make 100 times bigger mining pools, but they pay even less than now. They are already doing it. It's not when, they are already doing it.
Well, there you go, my friends. There you go. But I throw in the other side of this is this: if China was to come and really hit hard off of that, right? Would we then see? This is where I guess where I'm trying to head to is there another way to use Bitcoin or to be able to mine Bitcoin without using like a a caustic environmental usage or development of energy? So if you go through right now, whatever in China, right, they burn coal to produce energy, right? But let's say in Africa, they go through and they just start building because there's a ton of sun in Africa, right? Just massive solar panel farms, and they go through and they start to produce it that way. That changes the game for the
Yeah,
actual usage. Go ahead.
but to produce those solar panels, you have to burn coal before.
This is true. See, look at that, right? People hate that idea, or even like the whole entire battery usage for the Tesla, right? People scream it's great for the environment, but then the battery usage and then the toxic.
No, literally,
yeah.
The like mark behind the production of solar panels is so devastating that it's absolutely ridiculous. People think that it's green energy because you don't burn anything. It's nonsense. It's not. It has zero common with green energy. Coal is green energy compared to solar panels, because to create solar panels we use so toxic, chemicals to do, and we have to dig for it. This basically destroy more than we would use with just coal and oil. For example, in Poland, we have so much coal underground that with today's technology, there was this professor in Poland that calculated it, that if we would gasify it, with today's technology, it's not perfect, but with today's technology, if we would gasify it, you don't have to do anything. You go down, you gasify it down underground. You don't like dig up this coal. You gasify it underground. You take out oil, because by burning coal underground, you get pure coal, like the purest form when you will burn it, because they burn it without air, basically, right? So you will get the pure form of the coal, that when you will burn later this coal, you just have almost no ashes behind, because all this bad one was underground, left underground. From this coal they extract also oil, because it's also in the coal, and gas, right? So this gasifying method, with today's technology, just from coal from Poland underground, if we would use it, we are not allowed to use it, right? That's why, and we have scarcity of coal basically in Poland right now. It's fucking ridiculous. But,
this is a family-friendly show. Do your best not to curse. Do your best. Go ahead. Keep going. Go ahead.
So basically, with gasifying the coal just in Poland, we could sustain whole Europe with Russia for gas for a few hundred years.
That is epic. That is so funny, dude. That is, and you literally reduce the usage of the you reduce the usage in the, like, I don't know, in the normal world, right? Since it's underground. Oh, so here's my question: Are you guys going to tamper and mess with your like underwater water system, or is it below that? It's like the water how do they call it? The water shed, or is it above and then you have that below here?
No, I think it's in between somehow, because coal is not like in water, right? It's in like pockets, let's say. So it's not like this.
All I'm asking is, if you were
sweet water is not comes from near the coal, basically.
So it's not.
Also, we besides the coal, we have geothermal water. We have so much geothermal water that besides the coal, we could sustain everyone with energy. Like,
it's one of those things.
We don't need all this, additional nonsense. Just do it.
Listen, find me that article. I would love to actually post that. And here's the thing, I am for green, real ways to make, like a keyword, real ways to make the world a better and cleaner place. Like, I really think that's important.
The other day I found in Germany or Austria. I think it was German company or Austrian, whatever. They found a way that basically to reproduce oil again. Because they tested the holes, right, where you hold the oil, where there is oil, and they found this bacteria that produce oil. And so they now using basically solar panels, pump CO2 and I think methane. No, or hydrogen. One of them. And they put both, like pump both back into the like dry pockets where was oil before.
And it creates actual oil reserves.
Yeah, and and this bacteria consumes all both of these things and gives out oil again. So basically, they wanted to like make a battery from green energy for winter. So they were thinking how to do it, how to use this more energy that you have in summer in the winter. And they find out that they can, just basically reproduce oil underground using solar panels, right?
That's pretty awesome, man. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that, man. You send me those. I love to read those articles. Those are pretty dope. I send those articles if you want to come tomorrow, man. I mean, because it's 5 o'clock your time, right? In the afternoon, 6 o'clock.
6, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, swing through, dude. It'd be dope. I'd love to have you. If you're free this time, I don't want to steal you from Brian. Brian, you know what I'm saying? That's really interesting stuff, man. Like
you are still coming today, right? Do you remember that?
What's up?
Still coming back to Brian's.
Always, yeah. Brian's your home. Just you can moonlight. You know what I'm saying? You can cheat with me on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
No. I think that he said that for you to come back today, right? So
yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. You're talking about the Nephilim, but we're not gonna go into that here right now. We're talking about charts. We're talking about charts. If anybody wants to wants to talk about the Nephilim and maybe the creation or evolution of the world, whatever you believe, however you believe the world is, right? We're going to be talking about some interesting things at the Coin Launch Lounge with Brian and Gabriel moderating the conversation and having a good time. But let's go ahead and finish up the charts here real quick. So we got. Yeah, like you said.
Just one.
No, you're good.
We also have a coal that we are giving for free to Ukraine, and now Prime Minister in Poland. He's not Polish Prime Minister. He's Prime Minister in Poland. Went to Ukraine, basically make a contract with Ukraine that because we have not enough coal supposedly in Poland right now, right?
Okay.
They bring this coal from Africa. Well, not coal; it's basically mud. Just people were recording what they got. It's mud. It's not a coal. So we don't have enough coal in Poland. We are sending for free coal to Ukraine, supposedly to help them, right? By the way, Zelensky before presidency had a few $millions. Now has like $700 or $1 billion, right? From just because of the war in Ukraine. He found his, his basically gold mine, right? We are sending this free coal to Ukraine. Then the prime minister in Poland went to Ukraine. Oh, can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. Keep going. Yeah, I can hear you. Hello? I can hear you, bud. I'm curious to hear what you're saying. Let me pull this up here real quick. You're good, bud. You should be able to come in. I can hear you. You were. I'm curious to hear what he's saying here. Yeah, so we can go through. Give me a second. Give me 1 second.
And we are sending it back again for free because it's part of the helping part to the Ukraine.
Okay, wait.
And
So we actually, you went silent. Actually, hello, you went silent for about 20 seconds there. So I was waiting for you to come back. So
okay.
you literally, last thing we heard was when you were saying that the president found his gold mine.
Yeah, found his gold mine because of the war in Ukraine, he now has $1 billion, right? So, and our prime minister, because we are supposedly helping Ukraine and Ukrainians, we are sending coal for free to Ukraine, right? Or some ridiculously small money. Because now of the engineered scarcity of coal in Poland, because I told you we have a lot of coal, right? We don't have enough coal for our own people, so they should just stop, sending out this coal completely, right? You think about your country first, right? That's obvious. But this prime minister Morawiecki, he went to Ukraine. They signed a contract that Ukraine will help Poland with coal, and they are selling us coal right now.
The coal that you sent them.
Yeah, for free. I'm telling you, this is fucking also. I tell you, this is a joke. This is a joke, not a war. So basically, we are sending them coal for free. They are selling us the same coal. Then we are sending this coal back to Ukraine because it's part of the helping part, and they are selling it as back again. They don't even, repackage it.
That's really interesting. That's actually really interesting. I didn't.
Incredible.
Yeah, you can even make this stuff up if you wanted to, right? The absurdity.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Listen. It's sad. It's another thing I brought up a couple of weeks ago is that we were actually talking about not a couple of weeks ago, last week when the whole entire Muslim the hijab, the head covering. I think I messed it up, but pardon me. Oh, there goes mine. They're really fighting. Like a lot of the local people. The people are like, listen, we're tired of this. We're not gonna let you beat our girls and our wives. We're not, the government. Y'all have gone too far. So they're literally like fighting especially in
But they never used hijab, basically. If you look at the Islamist countries from the pictures from 100 years ago or 120, before
modern state
let's say
of
let's say West governments and these secret agencies started meddling with them. They were never using hijabs. Just look at the pictures. They were never using hijabs. Only in this last century they started using hijabs.
Well, it's the new regime. It's the new regime that came over.
Yeah, they
took over Iran.
People to use it. Yeah.
And I mean, and whether it's good or bad, but what I find really interesting is finally like some really strong forms of women rights is really stepping up, and a lot of the community is really starting to get behind it. And so it's going to be really interesting to see as it moves forward what are going to be the ramifications of what with that revolt, and are we going to see a more lax of investing within the Quran, or are they going to be able to? You know what I'm saying? I'm just because there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in Iran, right?
Yeah,
Iran.
as long as they allow cell phones in there, like this iPhones, etc., the smartphones, they lost because smartphones are weapons today. It was devised as weapons. You basically you have to think as of anything as a weapon. We are the enemy of the richest people in the world, right? We are their
We're free.
slaves. We are
Well,
their
right now we're
slaves.
free.
Like,
Slaves, but free.
yeah, let's say your vote counts, right?
Yeah.
You can have this illusion for now, you know. So why they would give something that would set you free? Why? Same as like encryption. I'm thinking about like there is AS256, this encryption part, right? You can look it up. It's supposedly it's used by the by the military, but anyone can use it now. But I am thinking if they don't have like backdoor in there and anyone can use it, why US military would give encryption that they cannot break to literally hands to their enemies? You know what I mean?
No. Very good.
No?
Explain. Go ahead and say that again. Somebody just hit me up.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Okay. There is this encryption. You can Google it. AES 256. It was done for military, right? And supposedly it's so hard to break, you cannot break it. But I am thinking like that. Why US military? And now anyone can use this encryption. And I am thinking like that. Why US military devised, made, basically engineered encryption so hard to break and gave it for everyone to use if they don't have a backdoor? Because if everyone can use it now, anyone, their enemies also can use it, right? So why they would literally give weapon to the hands of their enemies? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I think. That anything we are given as a technology is not for us. It's for them to control us. You have to look at everything as a weapon, basically, against us, against people.
Got it. So basically, any type of technology that the overlords who
create and allow us to use
is ultimately a weapon.
I have somewhere on my hard drive. I saw a paper from near 1900s. It was like 1908 or something like that. There was a guy who made
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. You were saying? You said
hello.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Oh, you must be having internet problems. Here, let me go to finish up the charts here, guys. So we're seeing the market kind of do a little bit of a continued rally here. So I'm looking to see where the next position points we might see a turnaround. The market keeps giving us up movement, so make sure you're staying long into these levels, right? This is during the daytime. But right here, be ready for probably a turnaround. But as long as we are moving up, make sure you guys are going up. Let's check out ETA here real quick while we're moving. ETA here is bouncing up the 8 period, moving average on that 4. If we check out the daily has some big wicks. but we did come into our area here that was previous support, which is now our previous resistance. We did come through, but we weren't able to get out of it. We did not close above it, so we are seeing a sell-off at these levels. Gabriel, when you're ready, man, jump back in, okay? You should be able to go through. I'm going to finish the charts. Go. All right, so as we see here, as this is continuing up, we are putting a pretty big wick here. So I think the next spot we could see is up in this level here or at that 20-period moving average where we do see it. We might see a sell-off. This area here also fits where the 8-period moving average is around. There we are. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Sorry, I had to change.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, let me finish through this here
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah, go.
And then, but I want to kind of keep talking what you're talking about here real quick. So ADA right here is coming up into this level. Let's check out the inner time frames here real quick. Seeing if we do have buyers or sellers stepping in at certain directions. As it is pushing up, you do see that they are putting in their shorts. So as it's dropping, right, you can see the shorts coming in, boom, boom, boom. No real buyers coming into these levels here. The same thing as they're pushing, nothing really sitting here. So it looks like they could hit these levels, these higher time frame dynamic supply zones here, where we could see a sell-off. Do look to go long up until this level here, which is sitting at that 40-period moving average. Play off of, looks like the 15-period moving average is what they're playing off of, right? So we could sit there and that 8-period, it looks like it's messing with, actually, I think it probably is the 30-minute. Yeah, it's the 30-minute that is following. So be ready to go long back at the 30-minute zone area here as we sell off. But again, we really have nothing holding us down into these levels here. So we could see a major sell-off. But the 8-period is looking like it's starting to hold here, especially right here at this last level. So we'll see what happens. Next level here is after ADA, we have XRP. XRP is looking pretty dope. It is rallying hard, like what we've been talking about. This level here, we don't really see anything until we get up to at least the 44.62 area, if not further, if we pull up the higher time frames. Up in this level here, we could see a turnaround, but until then, it really is looking pretty strong at these levels here. Let me go into this right quick. Let me pop it like it's hot right here. So this area here is potentially a turnaround area for your 4-hour chart. We have that 8-period moving average as well that we're coming up to on XRP again. You want to see if it does hit this, come back down, put in a buyer wake. You want to see it then rally back up to our level here, which is previous demand, which then becomes supply. So let me go ahead and throw this in here real quick. Right, so this area here is where we are seeing a conjunction of price movement. But like you said, like I showed you guys, they aren't showing any buyers really stepping in. Let's go into from XRP. It should be Sol. 1 second. Now Sol's gonna be. Come on, guys. Where's S at? Sol. Soul sister. Soul sister. All right. So Sol right here, as you guys can see, is pretty much looking the same way as we see right here. You have us hitting these areas similar. Biggest thing is this 50-period moving average. If we come up into this level here, be ready. You should see some type of sell-off right here that we're seeing. One second. So I'm definitely looking to play this zone here off of this level where we have that 50-period moving average on the daily sitting here, as well as we have the 8-period moving average sitting here as well. There we go. Let's see here. So this area here on Solana is something area we need to be paying attention to. We saw that we hit that 8 period right up in, that's where it's down here. The market, as the market moves, we see that everything else moves with it, so the moving averages move as well. So you always need to be on top of the higher time frame moving averages. But you saw that we hit it, and now we're selling off of it. It looks like it could potentially come down to our levels right here, which is the $31 from the $33 mark here, guys. And that would be the weekly. So that 33 mark or that 30 mark would be down in these levels here, which is about right. So it's be interesting to see what, as we move forward throughout the day. After Sol, we are going to go into ADA. What is next after ADA? I always do the top 10, Gabriel. So it's interesting to see that. So we got Sol. Let's go to Doge here real quick. Doge, like we've talked about this already, is putting up a fight. And so if we go into it here, we can sit there and see again that it's starting to rally pretty hard here. So it's pretty cool to see what they're doing here. We came back up into our 50 period moving average from yesterday. Or excuse me, up here we came to the 50 period moving average, a sell-off. And so we're hovering over into these levels here. It looks like that the 8 and 20 period daily are becoming resistance. So something to be interesting. If we do see a sell-off within Doge, we're going to see it come down into our levels here. Let's check out the intraday time frame and see if they're putting any buyer or seller wicks, right, to help bring defense. Boom, we see some sellers. We see more sellers than buyers. No real buyers sitting in here, nothing here. Yeah, so this push-up is kind of a fruitless position here. They're just pushing it up. I think the broad market at large is pushing it up, which then I think we should then see a sell-off down into this level once we hit a higher time frame moving average. We'll check out the 4-hour period. 4-hour period, we are hitting that 8 or that 8 and 20 cent below it. So we aren't having anything really trending except for that 20 period. So I really think that we'll probably hit that 20 and that 50 crossover here, which is a junctional point, and then see it sell off into the lower levels down in here, where we do not have a demand or a buyer wick in this level here. So I do see it's probably coming back down into these levels as we speak. The biggest thing is, again, define your trending mechanism and wait for it to turn around at that level and for you to follow whatever you use as a trending mechanism for the day. All right, so let's go to the next one, which is going to be, what's that Doge at? Dot. Let's go to Dot. Dot will probably be similar, like I said. They all are pretty much following the same thing here. Showing here, though, real quick, right? We couldn't even get up to that 20 period moving average, right? So that 20 period average is a unique area here. I thought we would at least came up to that, but we did not. So we had a pretty strong sell-off. Now, if that 8 starts to trend up and when you start to see us find support on that 8, okay, then I would change my bias to see that we were probably going to start really moving up, right? But right now, as we speak, it's a bit of a fight here as well. But again, there's a big seller right in this area. We have some buyers. But I do see us really selling off from this position here, just simply because there's more, there's more upwards pressure than there is, or there's more downwards pressure than there's upwards pressure. Next, as we look, we should then go, I believe it is Matic. 1 second, look it up. Doge.Matic, yes sir, Matic. Now Matic is again showing strength off of that 20 period moving average as we are now continuing. The only issue is we just put in a big fat wick from yesterday's sell-off, the big push. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they're able to push it back above these levels here. Now, this did put in a higher low as we speak, but again, there are no real buyers down here where we saw a lot of support come in, right? That's what we're always looking to see, right? Is support coming in at these lower levels? Does it look like this? Boom, 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 ding, right? Here's another one. Boom, 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 ding, right? That's what we're looking for, to see defense of an area. We don't see that right at this level, right? So that's why I'm more bullish down, or excuse me, I'm more bearish down at these levels right now to see it's come back down into Matic's little lower areas here, right? where we have the 57 and 51, or 57 cents and 51 cents down into the 42 cents, as well as the 31 cent area. So I think it's really interesting. Now, the next thing we have last is Shiba Inu. Now, all of these coins, my friend, you can jump in from a fundamental level and talk about any of the stuff. So please, if you know of news or things like that, I just look at the charts and I just read the charts. But if you know of news or fundamental analysis stuff that you know about, please jump in and talk about it. All right, Gabriel?
You would have to ask Borja. I told you about him yesterday.
Dude, yeah. Dude, if you want to bring him on as well, dude, I'd love to bring him on and just have him be a part of the show. It'd be fun. Real quick, Shiba Inu here. Shiba Inu again. Now, Shiba Inu is putting up a fight. We are seeing buying and selling coming in at those levels here that we were talking about yesterday. We were looking at the wicks. I actually have not looked at this as of so far right now, but we definitely saw buyer wicks back in these levels here. Oh snap, something happened. The last 5 minutes, we saw this baby come back up into these levels. This baby's coming back down to here, at least coming here, and then we might see it rally back here. But we've got 1100 here, just tapping, literally tapping. Look, but they're putting in seller wicks here, seller wicks, a few buyer wicks, but seller wicks. This looks like it's a stop out here, up into these levels here. See what happens. Let's find out the higher time frames here. So we have that 20 period moving average with a junctional turn point where the 8 did find support on that 8, or the price is finding support on the 8 period moving average. And we are coming back up into this crossover of the 20, which would be basically the weekly right here. So this is the weekly 20 sitting right here with the crossover. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Shiba Inu pushes through this. If Shiba Inu pushes through this, we actually close above this point here with all these demand wicks here. That's bullish. That is extremely bullish. And I definitely would look to see it should pass through then through this 20 or the monthly, is that monthly or is that weekly? That weekly 8 here. So that will be really interesting to see as we move forward. Really interesting. Ooh. Well, we'll find out what happens, but just to understand this, if this continues up, this does put in a lower high here, or excuse me, a higher low here. Then to push up even further, they would be the next junctional point, would be that 2 cent area here, or the 0.002 cents. So really interesting to see what we have percolating here. Really interesting. Next, let's go ahead. Oh, that's it. It's in a nutshell. All right. So anything to say, my friend, regarding what we were talking about lastly, about the circle jerk going on between Poland and Ukraine with coal?
Additionally, if as always there are fights, but it's not a war. It's not. We don't have. You
guys are brothers, right? Like Russia and
the brothers.
Huh?
Don't hear to these lies. It's like we never were brothers. They just push this agenda right now. So it's not like suddenly we became brothers, right? No. If this is supposedly big war between Russia and Ukraine, why Ukraine is still buying gas from Russia?
I didn't know that.
Aha, they don't say that aloud, right? They just skip this this part.
Wait, okay. So I can look up right now and see that Russia or that Ukraine is buying from Russia.
I don't know if you will find it, but you can try.
I'm not the best speller. Buys oil,
gas.
Yeah, I knew it was I. Ukraine gas prices in Europe jump after Ukraine blocks Russia.
It blocks to our countries, right? Our countries stops using Russian gas, but they only say. Look at the word. They only say it stops, But Poland stops buying. It's not like Russia stops sending this gas. It's not like Ukraine stopped sending this gas, right? Poland stopped buying from Russia. That's why all these prices skyrocketed.
It's just interesting to sit there and see what's actually going
This is
on.
all. Look at the words they are using. They are after them. They want to stop it. They say they will stop it, but we are how many months already in the supposedly war? Like half a year, right? And they are still buying the gas.
No, man.
Only
It's
the poor die in the war, in these wars, right? Yes. See, they want to replace Russian gas.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they are.
From where they buy this gas? From Russia.
It's a very interesting, unique situation.
That's why I think all this Agenda 2030
Does
is
Russia supply Ukraine with natural gas? This is natural gas, Intel.com. Here we go. Let's check this out to see. Yes, about a third of the natural gas moving to Europe across Ukraine, but Ukraine also relies on Russia for natural gas supplies. It has, however, reduced its dependence on the country in recent years, but by adding reverse pipeline capacities to import natural gas from Europe. That is so interesting. That is really interesting. Yes. Like absolutely, yes. It just unequivocally, yes. When was this written?
March. I think it was in March. March something.
March 9, 2022. Yeah. Hey! Oh, snaps!
I'm telling you, this is a joke. This is the war
That is really interesting.
Poor and
Wow.
ignorant. That's the war is for, right? For whom?
Yeah. Wow. That is really, really interesting. I'm gonna have to put this in the show notes here because that's really unique, man. That is really, really. Listen, if you guys want to research that, here I'm gonna put the natural gas article in that, so have you guys check it out. That's a really, really interesting thing.
There is a Schwab guy, right? That he said you will own nothing and be happy. And they have Agenda 2030. If you can look it up, there is a picture they made up. Just type in Agenda 2030 and you'll find it.
And 2030.
Yeah, for the year.
What's it?
Enter.
Schwab. What's his name? What's his first name?
Put enter, and you will find the pictures. Because this is hieroglyphs, right? Go to images, and you can see already. No, images. Just images. And you have United Nations, right? Let's just click on this. Just these global goals, right? These objectives. Just click on one, and you make it bigger, right?
Check it out.
People can see it. As you can see, number 1 is no poverty, right? 2 is zero hunger. But this is a picture, right?
Yeah.
How do you type number in English? N-O, right? N-O, 1. So this is a hieroglyph, right? This is a picture that is saying something. So the first one is actually number 1. It's not no poverty. It's number 1, poverty. 2, 0, 2.0, hunger. Get it? They
Yes.
tell you
Great point.
good health and well-being, but where it stops,
Point. Good health.
going down, right? Quality education, but the book is clean. No education. It's clean, right? It's erased. Gender equality, transgenderism, right? Equal. They want to equalize both genders into one gender, transgenderism. Clean water and sanitation. And what do you see? Arrow down. Arrow down. They are telling you what they want to do.
No clean
Arrow
water.
will go down.
Yeah. And affordable and clean
And clean
energy. That's
energy.
interesting.
And what is the button? To turn off.
Yeah. It's a turn off sign. Yeah.
I'm telling you, they are telling everyone, right? Yeah, economic growth, because everyone will be poor already, so they will earn more money. So economy will grow for them, not for us, right?
That's really interesting, man. I never even thought about things like this. It's really interesting. Yeah, I can see that. Climate action, right? Boom. I. It's interesting that there's an I there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then life below water, right? They're talking about good fishing and stuff like that for them, not for us. That's really interesting.
Or flutes, life below water, right?
Oh, below water.
It can be also mean flutes, because
Flute?
flutes, flute, like
Oh,
water will
floods.
rise.
Oh, I
Flood.
see.
Sorry.
Floods. No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I know you speak a few languages, so I totally understand. No worries. As Americans, the majority of us only speak one,
Okay.
English. So
Life on land.
yeah,
Look at this. There are no humans in this picture.
yeah, it's literally just birds. Yeah, it's kind of scary. And then the justice, the peace and justice, and strong institutions.
Yeah, it's nonsense, because they always tell, somehow they use Bible, and there is in the Bible, like I think it's in Old Testament, that when they will say there is peace and security, destruction will be upon them, right? And peace and justice is basically peace and security. They always use this, these connotations.
God, man, that's pretty crazy.
That's why I think there is no war in between Russia and Ukraine, because they are all in it together. They want to bring these goals to the world, so they have to like make a scapegoat, basically, right? Now he said, even Biden said that the dark winter is coming, right?
Yeah, he's actually talked about that.
They know exactly what is going to happen. They know because they planned it, and they are implementing this plan. That's it. There is no war in between countries, as we understand it, right?
Mm-hmm. I want to bring up, actually, Biden was just president, or is it Joe Biden?
So let me just.
He just tweeted, and I found this really interesting more than anything. Where was it? I think it was on my White House conference. Here we go. This is it right here. And I found I didn't understand, and so I know that there is potential like major food shortages, right? But yet I know my local.
There is no potential. They engineer food shortages.
Yeah, like literally, like I know that stores in America cannot give away food. They're not. It's against the law. They have a bunch of old food, right? I understand for health reasons and things like that, but a lot of these people, right? Like you could go up. There's a law here in America that people like homeless people, right? They can't go through dumpsters within
they put this
grocery stores.
They put the same in Poland.
And it's horrible, right? Because it's like, wait. And I understand they could be sick, but then also, I mean, a lot of these people are starving, so you can go to food shelter homes, or
That's
not food shelter,
wicked.
food shelters. But even those food shelters, right, only give you a certain amount of certain food. Like I was talking to this guy who was homeless, and this was a while back, quite a bit while back, probably about 3 years ago. And he would say how this was before COVID, and he would say, "Listen, I would go to these food shelters, and I would want to get like real good food. I mean, decent food, right?" And I said, "Well, can you work?" And he goes, "I can work, but I just choose not to." Like this, literally, what his thing was, right?
Mm.
He goes, "I live okay, and I want to do what I want to do, right? Because I don't want to be stuck to a corporate world." And I'm just like, "Well, it stinks being here on the Northeast and freezing cold." He goes, "No, there's places that cover me." And, I don't want to even go into that because I talked about taxes with him and like, well, you ain't paying your share. He goes, well, you're actually paying towards the corporate world craziness. And when you pay your taxes, that's what you're going through. And I don't want to support that. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like looking at him like, you are a maverick, bro. Like you are straight up like, either he's a genius or he's crazy, right? Like, it's really tough. But he goes, I remember the day where you could no longer walk up to a grocery store's dumpster and pull food out.
Yeah.
He goes, they have people who come and they go through and they check all this stuff. Now, I guess it's all closed in. Like you can't even get into it. They have a whole entire like dumpster where you throw your food in. It's all enclosed, and then it comes and compacts it, and you can't even get to it. But I just found that so interesting of like how and what America is doing, as well as the rest of the world. Yeah, and they throw all this food away, where they could give it away though, right? So it's just
You can see
hypocrisy.
dumping like milk.
Yes.
They have to dump milk. They have to like bury onions, potatoes, etc. because they got papers from government, right? It's engineered scarcity. Listen, there is unlimited enough amount of money right now in the world. In Federal Reserve, right, the private bank, Federal Reserve is printing $1 trillion per day, daily. I mean, how much money you need to feed people, right? They print $1 trillion daily. Like,
no,
do you need money?
Yeah.
Like,
well, but then there's also, but I also say like this, though, they've also done a lot of pullback, right? Like the Federal Reserve has also sat there and have, they did stop quantitative easing, right? Now they have quantitative tightening, right? They're sitting there and they're raising rates, so they're trying to figure out whether they're trying to help or not. I don't know, right?
No, don't assume they want to help you.
They want to help themselves.
Yeah, listen, they printed in 2 years. They printed
more
60 to 80% of all dollars
ever
that were printed ever.
Yeah.
They made it in 2 years.
Yeah.
And now they want to raise, raise percentages because it's going to make inflation.
Yeah.
Really? They want to help you? No.
We'll see. It's interesting. I know in Poland, your guys' Federal Reserve, right? You guys are they're almost anti-Federal Reserve, right? They're not kind of going with the flow, right? Or I remember listening to this guy, and he was saying there's certain countries in Europe that aren't playing nicely with the Federal Reserve with certain aspects of things. Was that Poland?
No, maybe before, but I think there is no country in Europe that's going against them. As I said, they all play to achieve this one goal, right?
Yeah.
They want one world government, so they have to control population to the point, brainwash them to the point that they will ask for it because it will bring them peace. Look, now we can feed you, right? You were muted. Okay.
No, go ahead. I was listening to you. There's this guy. His name is Matthew Buchanan. He's a sales guy. Basically, he uses this revolutionary. And I'm always looking to learn how to do sales. I'm a salesman. I'm always looking to see how to get better and refine your ability to communicate, talk, and connect with people. Right. I think the real gold in the world is being able to connect and build friendships, build relationships.
Okay. Sorry, I remember that in your European Union, they started this project, like I think around 2-3 years ago, that they want to connect everything to the blockchain, and it was so vast that they wanted to basically have every seed connected to the blockchain, and every seed would have its own number. And it was already
everything. This was important.
I'm talking about everything as every even seed. They want to know where this seed comes from to plant, right? Where is it right now? Everything, every seed, every single seed, right? They want to control all. They want all to be connected to the blockchain, basically. They are developing this technology right now for 2 or 3 years. They want to know who is currently having this seed, how this seed was grown. The plant will also grown from this seed will also be connected to the blockchain, and all will be connected to the blockchain. Wherever it is currently, it will be on non-stop on the blockchain spectrum. So if you are thinking about total control, you have no idea what they what they basically want to do.
See, and that's where I feel like we have whether and I don't want to believe in this. I mean, listen, sounds weird, right? I don't want to believe in this conspiracy theories.
But this is not conspiracy. I can show you.
I don't disagree with you. I know what you're saying. Listen, there's a part of me that I don't want to believe that the governments of the world really want to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't, because the reason why I say this, right, is then my own reality that I built for myself, right, where I get up in the morning, and it's my own reality, right? It's my own world that I built for myself, where I can trade. I trade my markets, and I'm, kind of, and then I do odd jobs here and there. I buy. In addition to that, right, I'm building my own little businesses here and there, right? If the government comes in, it really comes in with a heavy hand. My world gets demolished. They sit there and say, either you do this or you don't, or you die, right? Like here you go. So for me, you can tell me this stuff, but cognizant dissonance is a real thing. You know what cognizant. You don't want to. You don't want to see what's in front of your face. And I know that they're probably trying to hurt me. I know that they're trying to enslave me, and it's there, but I don't want to believe it.
So that's the point. That's the issue with most people. That's the issue with most people now. Right. The other day, I found, I think I found how they want to mind control even more masses, because I was going through the research on the autism on the brain, and they found that when you take protein from the autistic child, from the brain of autistic child, and put this protein into the healthy brain of mice, this mice starts to be autistic. So basically, they know the genes for autism, right? And they are using it.
And it's a healthy. So it's a healthy. It is a healthy brain from a mice. So they basically take the protein from the protein
autistic
gene
child,
from an autistic child,
put it in the healthy mice, and the mice become autistic.
It's very interesting.
Right. Additionally, I have found about autophagy that when autophagy
through autophagy, which is, go ahead.
You know what autophagy is?
I know what autophagy is. If people don't know what autophagy is, that's basically, long story short, Santa Varga. $1 billion data, September 20. Somebody just posted something banning chess. That is on YouTube. Give me 1 second. Somebody just posted something. I need to go check it out. But yeah, autophagy basically means that cells eating each other. What it is when your body goes into a state of scarcity.
But not exactly. The cells eating the
bad cells. The
bad
cells eating. Autophagy is self. The word term of autophagy means self-eating. But the reason behind it is that cells go and good cells attack bad cells, or certain type of cells attack bad cells, kill them off, and then the body then reproduces good cells from the good cells that are left. In a nutshell, that's what autophagy is. All right, go ahead.
Also, the cells produce like the what was the word in English?
Self-mechanism for
when you consume food. You know what was the name for it? When you consume food and discard the metabolism, right? Cells also have metabolism, right? So autophagy also means that the cells are cleaning themselves from the outcome of metabolism. So what I found the other day was, like in this week, that they were tweaking autophagy. They have found that by stopping autophagy in the brain, they could produce autism.
So, of course, okay.
Because
if they tweak with it,
right?
say that, because you would heal yourself, absolutely. So
by stopping the autophagy, the cells couldn't heal, couldn't clean themselves, and the brain would basically be starting to be autistic. And but what's better? They were trying to use this thing in the vaccines for COVID to tweak it. So basically, they want. I think what they want is everyone to have damaged brains in some spectrum of autism by tweaking the autophagy in people, so they can mind control the masses.
That's really interesting.
I found I was like, wait a second, autophagy and COVID, and I started digging, and the first 5-6 articles were we are want to use autophagy against COVID, and they were even stopping autophagy completely to fight with COVID somehow, right? So and they were testing this on vaccines and to put into people, but they never told you about it, right? But this can bring this autism in brains. So people, even when even when they will think they are healthy, now because they had tweaked autophagy in their bodies, they could have some spectrum of an autism. So basically, they will be easier to control.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't even want to think about it. This stuff is so nuts.
It sounds like complete, conspiracy theory, but this is actual researches. I can send you links if you want.
Listen, send it to me privately. I'll go through. I'll read it, because listen, I don't even. We got to be careful we got to be careful saying the word. I call it savesa, the savesa sickness. You can't even say the word. You know what we're talking about. You need to say savesa, because they'll ban us. Like, they'll ban my YouTube channel. They'll ban me on Facebook. They'll ban, it will. So we want to be very careful on what we're saying. So if we are going to bring the word up, we say savesa, or we say
cough.
I'm going to say cough. Savesa means drink, right? But we also know that the word in
Okay.
Mexico also
But
is
if
used.
you want to find something trippy, Google Asterix and Obelix Savesa. But you know what Savesa means.
Yeah.
Just Google.
Sound-
You can Google on the off screen. You will see.
I'll play with it right now. So
Asterix and
type in
Obelix Savesa.
aesthetics
That's right. And Obelix.
and
You know,
anabolics.
this
Anabolic.
cartoon. Obelix. Obelix. Obelix.
Obelix.
Yeah. Asterix. Asterix. Yeah. Asterix and Obelix. And, Savesa. And go to the pictures. This, in France, the guy made a comics in 2017. And guess what was his enemy of like a competition of the Asterix and Obelix? The guy in the golden mask named Savesa. Oh, I can see your your face.
Wow.
And they were making a ride in the Italy, right? The
They were
same as
telling-
was pushed
They were literally telling what they were going to do.
in 2017. That was in 2017. I'm
Huh.
telling you, when I started, people might not, don't believe it, but I started to pray to understand languages, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And suddenly I started to understand that I should use Greek letters. I don't know why they are using Greek letters, but literally, when you use Greek letters to any word, name Savesa is absolutely everywhere. I couldn't believe my own eyes when I found it in the physics.
Yeah.
I can show you later.
Well,
try.
actually, we probably need. I tried to keep the shows to 30 minutes to an hour long. We're actually 30 minutes, but we need to talk offline. I think it'd be really fun just to be able to communicate. Hey guys, thank you so much for coming in today. I appreciate it. I see that we've had some new viewers. Thank you for so much coming in. Sandor Varga. I'll check out what that is that you just sent, and we'll see what happens there. But thank you guys for coming in today, and appreciate all the stuff that you guys are doing. Many blessings, and we will hopefully see you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Me and Crypto Bull are going to start probably doing, or Mike is going to start doing a 9 o'clock podcast where probably Monday we will be on every major podcast player, iTunes to, if I can think what it's called, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and about 9 of them we're going to be on. All the major 9 ones, or all the major 10 top podcast players. So look for you guys to check us out. Like, subscribe to those. If you could share those with friends and family. Those were going to be a lot more funner. I'll go into some charting, but those are going to be primarily news and just a good time and laughs, and it'll be good. So thank you for coming in, guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock. All right, guys, be safe out there. Just to point out real quick, we're seeing Bitcoin starting to do a little bit sell-off. I do see Bitcoin at least coming down to these levels here, down in the 19,001. If not further, like I do see us coming back down to the 18,687. We did hit the higher time frame SMAs, like what we were talking about, into these levels here. So we'll find out if it does continue higher. Be paying attention to that the 19,000, or basically the 20,000 area with the 200 period moving averages on the weekly. Pay attention to that as well. Oh wait, I think that's the daily. What is that? The week? I just want to make sure I'm getting it right for you guys. Maybe it's the 400. That's what it is. All right, we have a 4-hour period, 200 period moving average sitting at this level here. It's right in the 4-hour time trading zone here as well. So we're hitting some major selling points there. So I could see us coming back down from Bitcoin down to these levels to find more buyers if they're going to push it up. Real quick, let's look at Shiba Inu real quick, because I was talking about how I can see it selling off to the low levels here.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you about Shiba Inu. It was like
Yeah, it was up
jump back from your line, literally.
Yeah, so we see here, guys, that it's hitting the areas. We're seeing it come back down to our lower levels here, guys. You should be taking your first target down in here, and then seeing if we can see it run down even further here. All right, guys, that's it in a nutshell. It was a pleasure, as always. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends and family about us. I'm trying to build a community here. We can all share ideas and have a good time. But mostly, I do kind of help you guys when it comes to the trading. So I love for people to come and show me. I love for somebody to show me up, prove me wrong. That's really what I'm looking for. So anyways, talk to you guys soon. Many blessings. Bye.